Good morning, everyone. My name is Christy Denny's. I'm one of your Miami trainers. How are you? I hope you are doing well. We are here from Matrix 301. I want to start on miamirealtors.com. Can you guys see my screen? So in Matrix 301, we're going to be going over the market watch. We're going to do some statistics. We're going to go over and study an area, pull some reporting, and then jump into a CMA report and talk about the pages that you have inside available for you. So before we get started, we're going to start on miamirealtor.com, Matrix 301, which is part of a series of Matrix. You guys are almost Matrix experts at this point. So the last class after this one is Matrix 401, Add Edit. And in that class, what you do is it helps you input a listing, how to manage it throughout the different statuses and the life of your listing, and how to be inputting into the system. We're going to start here on miamirealtors.com. I did want to show you that you do have an MLS tab. Since we're working MLS programs, be aware of this. We have the MLS rules and regulations, the MLS fines, as well as the MLS forms. We have our MLS request for an assistant, as well as additional resources right on our main page. We can access our gateway right here on the top where it says log in through your Miami gateway, or you can also scroll down to the middle of the page where you have your Miami gateway access as well. So go ahead and click into your gateway. When we're talking about the gateway, this is the page that we're referring to. I did want to point out the Miami Realtors Live icon. This icon is a great program. You have all of the training from your Miami Association on different topics. So simply click inside to access them. If you want to take 401 after this class, by all means. So we'll always have a main message in the front, but towards the middle of the page, just click on Search Video Seminars. That'll open up the program to show you all of the different programs that we have available for you. It'll load up by topic. Okay, let me close out. On your gateway, you also have our CoreLogix Matrix, which will access the Matrix portal, but you also have Matrix Help, which will launch a chat with support from Matrix. You also have the Add Edit option, where this will take you straight to the Add Edit portion of your website so you can input a listing. Once inside of Matrix, we're going to start with our Market Watch. So we did a little bit of the Market Watch in 201. For those that were not with me, we are going to be customizing our Market Watch today. Let me reset it, because most likely you guys are going to be looking at a reset Market Watch. So what do you have in front of you under Market Watch? You have the entire MLS. So you have all of the activity in Miami-Dade, Broward County, Palm Beach, St. Lucie, Martin on Market Watch, which, by the way, that is your market area, and that's the areas that we can search inside of Matrix. This is a new status that that is recently coming soon. You do have under News and Alerts additional information. Any news and alerts, important policy changes, or announcements from the MLS will be available under News and Alerts on your homepage. So let's go ahead and customize this to a specific area. If you want to follow me, you want to go ahead and click Customize. The single family and the condo, villa, and townhouses have already been selected for us. I'm going to go drop down to the bottom of the screen and select my city. For this example, I'm selecting Doral. Since you select your city, press Save. And now our Market Watch can speak to us every morning about the activity in a specific area, such as Doral. I suggest you follow along with me. Go ahead and set that up to your preferred area so you can wake up in the morning and let the system do the work for you, let you know that there is 35 new properties in Doral, 10 that are back on the market, 20 that they've recently decreased the price. We have 4 that have increased the price. We have 9 with an active contract. We have 8 that have been canceled, 8 that have closed, 21 that are pending, 7 that have gone temporarily off the market, 2 that have been withdrawn, and 4 that have expired. Okay, so aside from that, we can go ahead and click on our information. Okay, and we can see all of the additional information from our units. Click on the MLS number and you can preview. Okay, so under Market Watch, you can also click this little arrow and move your way from the different statistics without having to return to your main page. So if you're working on an expired campaign, this is a great way for you to be able to see in the last 7 days in your territory that there's been 4 expireds. It's easier to come up and work a campaign in smaller groups of days, like 3 every day, every 7 days, so that you can follow up with it. Okay, I'm going to go back home, back into my Market Watch, select a different category like rentals. Now that I've set up my Market Watch for single families, I'm going to do the same thing for my rentals. You have your categories and type of listings towards the bottom of your Market Watch. You can see the activity in the last 24 hours. You can see what happened today, in the last 3 days, or in the last 7 days. We're going to customize this information so that we're not looking at the entire MLS, but of a service area that we're interested in working. So select the word customize. Scroll to the bottom. Type in your city. You can do additional customizing. So if you want to see a specific price range, if you're working a specific amount of bedrooms and baths, that is available as well. But I just want to see what's going on in Doral. All of the rentals, actually. I'm going to press save. And now inside of my Market Watch, in the last 7 days, I can see what's going on in that market. So once you select one of your categories, so let's say I want to look at the 3 expired rental listings, I can go ahead and view them. But I also have this little arrow up at the top where I can see the different property types and their different statuses. I can also change the days that I want to look at. And aside from that, I can change the type of category right from my grid. I can go back into single family. Okay, so this is your Market Watch. Very cool tool. I'm going to go back home and we're going to jump into statistics. Let's click statistics at your floating bar at the top. These are your preset statistics that have already been created for you. All you would have to do is plug in your data and then the system can pull it for you. We have great options here. We have average days on market versus listing price medians. We have the historic count of active listings, so we can compare the number of active listings this year compared to last year, for example. So let's jump into some of them. We're going to first select the preset that we would like to use. I'm going to select average days on market versus listing price median. I'm going to then put in my information. For the sake of this example, we're working with the city of Doral. Once you've selected, you can also select multiple. But once you've selected Doral, simply click Generate. And these statistics come with a graph. They also come with data. So we more or less can see since 2015 all the way to current day as I scroll down. We can see the month, the year, the average days on market, and the average sales price. Scrolling back up, and we're going to do another example, historic count of active listings in the city of Doral using the same information. I don't have to preset it again. I'm going to click Generate. Okay, and here we can see that with everything going on for the month of April, we have 2,904 active listings in comparison to last year where we had 2,499. So there is plenty of activity happening in our service area of Doral. Again, you have your charts. You can see how it's grown. You have the ability under data. Towards the bottom, you have export as a CSV, so you can export your data. You also have the option to print or email your statistics. We have historic sales by year. Simply click on the link and generate. Okay, so we can see how many sales per month, per year, since 2014. Historic sales price trends, generate. Okay, we have the historic sales price trends below. This is a great way to do research on your area, on your service area. They're great statistics to post on social media. It also conveys that you are the expert in your service area. Statistics are also used to educate our customers. So here we have the breakdown of price throughout year and the price trends. Okay, so in this year, we've sold 8 properties over $1 million in Doral. List price over square foot ratio, generate. We have the information here. When you generate list price over square foot ratio, I would suggest putting in the bedrooms and the baths, so you'd have more of an accurate picture. So we're comparing apples to apples. I'm going to go into my history sales price trends. Click generate. Original price versus sold price. And sales price over listing price ratios. If you work with sellers, are receiving 97.2% of what they were originally asking on the asking price. Down here we have my presets. So that means that we can customize our own statistics. And you can do that if you click on customize. Okay, you can pick your time frame, the statistic that you would like, the chart type, and how you would like it grouped. We're going to do example, year to date 2020, our statistic, close price to original price ratio. We're going to pick our chart, smooth area. We'll leave it by month. Click generate. Okay, and you can save any statistic that you would like. You can play with the system, create your own stats, add them to your listing presentation if you'd like. Click save to save them, and then click save a copy. Our new statistics will then be found under My Presets. These can be found under Stats. I want to show you a place on the miamirealtors.com website where you have access to statistics that you don't have to pull yourself. Under News, you have South Florida Market Intel, Focus, and Market Stats. So here you have available for you different statistics that have already been created for you that you can review. We've done it for Miami-Dade, Broward County, Palm Beach, Martin, and St. Lucie. They're always going to be updated. They also break it down in type of property so that we can see Miami single-family homes, how many were closed, comparing April 2020 to April 2019, and the change year over year. What is the percentage of persons who've paid in cash? What's the median sales price? The dollar volume? The percentage of original list price received? 96%. Median time to contract? 39 days. Median time to sale? Active inventory? Month supply of inventory? Month supply means if the MLS stopped working and we were not inputting any more listings, that's the month supply of properties that we have before we ran out of properties to sell. Miami townhomes and condos. Okay, and these you don't have to do. They're on your website. Let me scroll back up. Click on Market Focus. You also have it as a video. Okay, so if you want to post this on your social media, if you want to post it on your Facebook or be aware of the different changes, just pop in under news and you can have the information read off to you as a video. Now that we've reviewed this, I wanted to scroll down a little bit further and show you that you have detailed reports as well as summary reports, and this breaks it down a little further. So these are here for you. You can post them back into Matrix. I'm going to go back home and jump into our next topic, which is going to be a survey of an area or a study of an area. And then we're going to do 2 reports, which is the 1004NC, and then we're going to do one called the single line CMA report. How to get started, we hover over search, click on RE1, RE2. We're going to select active properties and closed sales to do a study in an area. We're going to change from 6 months to a year. We're going to pick single. We're going to pick our city, our city of choice today. And we have 551 matches. I'm going to click results. I'm going to go ahead and select all. If you select all from this top left corner, you're only going to be selecting what's available on that page. You can verify here where it says that I've checked only 25. You can use this drop down for more properties that you would like to select per page, but to do reporting, just simply click on the word all, and the system will check off all 551 stats or properties to create the stat. Scroll down to the bottom, click print, scroll down, and click the 1004 MC report summary. Click print to PDF. So in this reporting, we're able to see quite a lot of information in an area. It's a different statistic that you can pull, and it's a great study. So you have your total number of comparable sales. You can see what's happened from the last 12 months, 7 to 12 months, the last 4 to 6 months, or currently in the last 3 months. We can see our total number of comparable sales, the absorption rate, our total number of comparable active listings. We can also see the months of housing supply. For Doral, we have 18. That's quite a healthy number. And then we have the information, aside from the inventory analysis, we have the median sales and listing price and days on market. Okay, so we have the median comparable sales price, 505,000, with the comparable sales, the median comparable sales days on market of being 64. We have our listing price. It's listing around 692,400. It's on the market more or less 118 days, and most customers are receiving 96.19% of their original asking price. Okay, so before you jump into a territory or maybe go on a listing presentation, this is a great way for you to know what's going on in a city. It's on one glance, and if the numbers are in your favor, it's a great page to bring to a listing presentation. You can set healthy expectations about how long things tend to take. And if your numbers are better than these, then that's a great marketing tool to use. I'm going to exit out. With the same information, I can also click CMA one-line summary and click print to PDF. So you have an idea of a comparative market analysis using all of the information from the city of Doral. Okay, so you have your breakdown of your single families. They are all listed. They give you the information of all of the subdivisions, the different areas, the bedrooms, the baths, total areas, year built, square feet, original price, list price. We have our days on market here on the side, and it's going to bring down our averages towards the bottom of the page. Let me scroll so I get to those averages. This is also a great way to learn all of the subdivisions in a city, so you're familiar with the different subdivisions, the different communities. So what we have here, the closed sales, we have our listing counts, and here are our averages of the closed transactions. We have the same line for the listings. I'm going to scroll back up so I can find that. Here it is. Okay, so here are listing counts. These are our averages. And then it gives you an idea of the range in Doral. So on the high end, 6 million. On the low end, 334,000. Median, almost 700,000, more or less, for a property in Doral. Okay, let me exit out. Go back to my results. Go back into my criteria. And then instead of just Doral on such a broad level, you can also bring it down into just a zip code inside of Doral, or you can actually do a subdivision. So if you want to look in a specific neighborhood for that type of information, I'm going to do the two little stars. Those asterisks are telling the system, bring me anything that says Doral Estates. Agents are doing the inputting. If you put the little stars, you get more information, and then you can whittle whatever it is that you don't need. I have 24 matches for this subdivision. I'm going to look at my active and closed sales here. I'm pressing results. I'm going to select all, scroll to the bottom, click print, scroll to the bottom, and click on the 1004 MC report summary, print to PDF. And now we're looking at the same thing, but instead of on a city, we're looking it down into a subdivision. Okay, so it's a great way to kind of recognize a certain neighborhood. Okay, so here's that information for that neighborhood. I'm going to exit out and pull the same CMA one-line summary report, print to PDF. And we have the information for Doral Estates, active list count, and this is the information and the price point more or less in that neighborhood. It's a great way to figure out that price point in a neighborhood that maybe you're a little not familiar with. This is a great tool for that. Okay, let me exit out of the CMA one line. These are the reportings that we can find under print. If you go back to your results, I can go ahead and order my subdivision. Normally I would remove anything with villas. I would take this out. Click on refine. Click on narrow, and now I'm only seeing the information on Doral Estates. I can go back into my criteria. And let's say I want to begin to do a actual comparison of a specific subject property. I can add in bedrooms. I have something a little bit more specific. I have 18 matches. I'm going to click on results. I can select them all. Click print. And then do the one-line summary. So if you have a customer who is interested in more or less a CMA analysis, this is a good starting point. This is a good starting point. Once you put in those bedrooms and baths, it's a little bit more, it's a better comparable. You can see this now. After we've done these reportings, I want to jump into the CMA actual reporting that you can do inside of Matrix. That report, we're going to go through all of the steps. I'm going to show you the different flyers and information that you have inside. But as per selecting the specific properties to create a CMA, we're going to more or less select them for the example to run the report. But the best place that you can do a CMA is going to be on a tax service. So that's either going to be on IMAP or Realist or RPR. And we have a class called CMA Workshop where they really go down and do a deep dive of the reasons why you select the properties that you do. So if you want to sharpen those skills, that's the class to take. It's called the CMA Workshop. I'm going to put that in the chat. I'm going to exit out of our reporting. Now that we know how to do stats and pull reports, I'm going to go home. And under My Matrix, we have My CMA. I'm going to click My CMA. Your system can save the different CMAs that you've created. Let's start a new CMA. You can select your customer. Okay. You can select whether it's in English or in Spanish. I'm going to put in an address. Have our address to name our reporting. And now we're going to click pages. So you do have pages, subject, cover, comparables, map, adjustments, pricing, and finish. You can always complete and go back. How you're seeing this here is probably not with any of these. So simply I'm going to click on these, press Control with my keyboard. If you press Control on your keyboard anywhere on Matrix, you can select multiple selections. I'm going to exit these out because what I want to do is show you your available pages, show you the entirety of the report. Then you can go back and see what you liked, what you didn't like, and kind of customize your own presentation. So you have My Custom Pages. What are My Custom Pages? They are pages that you can import into the matrix if they are PDF formatted. And what agents like to put in here is either any marketing information from their brokerage. They like to put in any reviews that they've received, maybe any designations, any information about themselves. They'd like to add it from there. They also like to use this presentation as a possible CMA, but go into a tax service, pull that CMA, and then bring it in to this reporting. They like to put one or two different CMAs in the same report, and you can do that through My Custom Pages. To add pages to this report, you have towards the bottom here, you have Manage Custom Pages. Once you click on here, you can go ahead and add pages to this report. So I'm going to slide each of these main titles so that they will all appear on the other side, and we can talk about them, and we can figure out which ones you guys like. So now that they're all on the other side, we're going to click on Subject. So you have a few options here. You can either type in the subject property and all of the fields manually. You can enter an MLS number and fill the reporting, or you can search for a cross-property listing to autofill from. We're going to select the third for this example. Well, I'm going to input my listing here and see if it pulls any reporting for me. Go back to search from cross-property. So I had clicked active. There's no active listings with that address. I'm going to uncheck it, and now I have my 5 matches. Okay, I have 3 that are expired and 2 that are closed sale. They are in the order of which it last happened. So I'm going to select this one here at the top and click Fill from Selected. And now the information will automatically populate for me based on the information from the listing. I do want to probably update this picture. I went to the property, took my own picture. You can't use the listing picture of the previous agent. The remarks are the information from the previous agent. You want to go ahead and clear those remarks and put in any additional information or observations for your customer here under remarks. We do have the location on the map, the current status. You can also customize and fill additional fields that you'd like to include here. Now we can move on into the cover. This is our cover page. We created our cover for the CMA in Matrix 101. If you have not been able to take that class, you can find that under My Matrix, My Information, and you can update both your signature and your cover page from My Information. Okay, you can also update your signature here under Edit My Information. Let's go into our contact information. You can fill additional information. Here we have our contact information. Our next step is the comparables. Here are comparables. Again, we're more or less going to find comparables for this property, so I can do the entire reporting, but CMA Workshop is the class for you, okay? So add from listings, paste. If you notice on the top, it says no map selected, and then nothing's gonna pull unless I have my mouse here and I press enter. If I press enter, then the system will say, did you mean with the information that you're looking for? I also have where I can search. Here it's doing 1/4 mile, you have 1/2 mile, and 1 mile. So I'm gonna look in 1/2 mile and see what I have. That's a lot of properties. I'm going to update my bedrooms and my baths. I also want to look for active and closed sales for this example. It is a single family home. Scroll down and see what I have. I have 2 matches. It's not enough for me to be able to do a comparable, so I'm going to go from 1/4 mile to 1/2 mile and see my results. Still 2. I'm going to expand into 1 mile, and I'm going to update my baths to do 3 or more, and then see what I have. I have 14. So I have 14 properties that are more or less 4 bedrooms, more than 3 bathrooms. active closed sales in the last 180 days. If you still can't find comparables, another idea is to expand closed sale range from 180 days to a year, but we want to stay more or less in properties that have recently closed. I'm going to press results. Okay, so I have my active properties and I have only one closed sale. So that means I'm going back into my criteria, add from listings, because I only have one closed sale. I'm going to do that 365, see if I find more listings that have closed. Results. Okay, now I have a little bit more closed sales. Let me put these in order. I'm going to select some that are active and some that have recently closed. Okay, I'm just going to pick any of them. Okay, you can, using the titles, sort this data. You can sort the MLS information, the addresses. I sorted the status. Okay, so now that I've selected some comparables, you can also see here the distance from the home. Okay, 0.6, 0.4, 0.4, 0.3. So relatively close. Then once you do that, add selected, select all of them. I have some comparables here, and now we're moving on to map. This is the map. You have the subject area, you have the properties nearby. You can always go back into your comparables. Maybe you'd want them a little bit closer to the home, maybe on the other side. So that's why you have your map where you can review what you've selected. Under adjustments, this is if anything, any adjustments had to be made, you can go ahead and input them here. I'm going to go into pricing. So it does give me a range. So on the low end, it went into 500,000 all the way to almost 800,000. It's going to list off how many comparables I've selected, and then any additional analysis can be put under notes. You actually have a lot of space here, up to 5 paragraphs of information you can add, and then you do have space for a suggested listing price, which will go on your reporting. Okay, so I'm going to put in 650 to 700,000. Okay, as an example, that range is far too big, but this is just to get us through the reporting so that we can see what's inside. There are notes. We can put any additional notes that we'd like. Now that we have our range, we have a comparable price. We're going to go into finish. And you can see up here, as we go from different section, the system will automatically save that information. Okay, so if you list it under a customer, you can always go back into My CMAs and find that information. I'm also going to show you that once you've listed it under a customer, you can go back under your client information and review that CMA. And that's why it's so important to have all of your contacts inside of Matrix. Now we have all of our selected pages. I'm going to click View CMA so we can take a look at what we have inside. I've included the subject property and the comparables. So you always want a main subject property. If you're homeowners or if you have a property that you'd like to practice on, I do suggest it. More or less compare the information. You want to compare the bedrooms and baths. You can do square feet. When you do the range of square feet, do 20% less, 20% more. Okay, so the first page that came out in this report is actually from another CMA that I did that was already in my files. I did purposely include it just so I can show you that you can pull a CMA from IMAP and what that looks like. So you can give multiple options, and one of those is the CMA inside of IMAP, which is a tax service unlike the MLS. So you have your mapping, you have your information of that property. They give me a projected sales price, statistics on that area. And then here at the bottom, they have the comparison criteria that was used to calculate these comparables with an explanation of calculations and then some of the comparable properties. If we have time, I'll jump into map and just kind of pull the property so you can see it. The one that we're working on today, the one in Doral. Our comparable market analysis. I included it just to show you that you can pull different statistics that we did today into your CMA report, and that they're all headed with our lovely header that we created inside of Matrix 101. So here's where our CMA reporting actually starts. The other two or pages that you can pull, customizable pages. They're there, but this is where our reporting starts. You have your cover page. You have your cover page with a picture. And here we have our summary of comparable listings. So you have your active listings, the closed listings, and then you have the comparable price with the adjusted comparable price. These also include the days on market with an average of how many days more or less that listing was on the market. So if your customer thinks they're going to sell in 30 days, that might not be the case, but statistics like this, again, can help with expectations. Scrolling down. Here we have our CMA price adjustments with the pictures of the property. It's going to compare our subject with the additional comparables that we've selected and all the information that they were in. Scrolling down is showing us all of our selected property. This is our list price and our sales price as a graph. Here we have another example of our subject property, the active listings, and the closed sales with our summary towards the bottom. Some of this information on the reporting repeats itself, and that's why we go through all of them, so you can see more or less which ones you'd prefer. So you want to go with the ones that are easy to understand for you and easy to explain. So whatever you're most comfortable with is what you want to select. Here we have the CMA Pro Report. Just with the Pro Report, if you just select this, you basically have all of the information. We have our properties that we've selected. We have the graphs. Okay, and we have our analysis towards the bottom and the pricing recommendation. So if you just wanted to select CMA Pro Report, it basically includes all of the information from the previous pages. We have activity versus timing. So these are some static pages that you can use to have important conversations regarding expectations with your customers. So it shows basically the weeks on the market and the activity that's supposed to happen. And what this is pointing out is that you get the most activity within your first 3 weeks. So it talks about basically the importance of accurate pricing. So if it's priced too high when you first list, you're going to miss a lot of opportunity, especially if you decide to list at a better price later down the line, okay? Because you have less eyes on your listing. This is my guarantee to you, and this is a great piece even for us to kind of create maybe social media campaigns out of this. You can do your own postings, but it's also a way to review it and read it and see what it is that we're offering as agents, because we don't normally know, some of us don't know how to explain that all at once. So this page is great for that. It's the guarantee. You can date and sign it. This is another page about the importance of the effect on overpricing. They have so many pages of this because sometimes you will have that customer to want to overprice. Even if it's overpriced, take the listing, adjust the price later if you have to. Just get the listing. But this is another example of the effects of overpricing and how it can affect them. Scrolling down, we have the benefits of using a professional realtor. So of course, we do our pricing, we do the marketing for them. It's a more secure. We negotiate, right? And we monitor, maybe renegotiate, close, and settle, okay? We have, again, the importance of overpricing. I think this is pretty good. This is the market value towards the middle. The percentage of buyers at market value is 60%. If you go higher than 10% of your market value, then the percentage of buyers will drop almost by half at 30%. And then if you're up to 15% of the asking price, then you're going to be down to 10% of your buyers. If you price lower, then these are, keep going, setting the price, what it is that we're looking at when we do that. Again, the pitfalls of overpricing. So you just want to pick the one that makes most sense to you. And then this is a conversation about commission, because as the listing agent, you are going to be collecting the listing agent side with the listing broker, but you're also collecting the commission for the selling agent and the selling broker. Sources of buyers. This is a great one. So it shows that to find the buyers, you're going to be doing a comparison of the internet and the real estate agent. So using both of these ensures, or at least makes it more probable, that you will be able to acquire a buyer compared to a yard sign, which we also use. friends, relatives, and neighbors, a home builder, known seller, and newspapers. Okay. Steps to a positive showing. This kind of gives you information on a talking points about setting up that property before you start putting it on the market. You discuss first impressions, cleanliness, how less is more, any repairs that need to be done. And that's on this page. You also have what it takes to show a property, and it really breaks it down into the different steps that we take, and that was before. Now the steps that we're taking are even more than that. Okay, so scrolling down, and we have our CMA map to close it out. This is a really long report. You don't need such a long report. We're going to exit out of it. This is 30 pages, and we're going to go back and kind of fish through the pages and pick a series that we can. That's kind of short and easy to go through. Let me exit this out. How do I do this? I go back into pages, and then I deselect the information that I don't want. So I don't want these because they don't go in there. I just want one cover sheet. I don't want so many pitfalls of overpricing in my information. So I'm going to move that. What it takes to show, I'm not going to keep it. The positive showing, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to keep the map, sources of buyers, where the commission goes, setting a price, importance of pricing, benefits of using a realtor, my guarantee, activity versus timing, pricing, recommendation. Okay, so I'm going to remove these at the top. I'm just going to leave it like that as an example, but you look through the pages on your own time, select the ones that you would like. But what I do want to show you is that you can set it as a default. So you can click here, set as default, and that means that the pages that we selected today will always populate when I create a CMA. So I don't have to go back and kind of pick the ones that I want. Once you set it, you can kind of forget it, and it'll go into the order that you want. I'm going to go into Home. I'm going to go into My Matrix. Under Contacts, I can find my customer, right? And I can find all my CMAs associated with that client, right? So it's right here that we did this morning, and I can click it right from here. Okay, I can preview it. I can edit my CMA from my contact. I can view my CMA. I can email it, or I can delete it right from here. Another place that you can start a CMA. So if I go into a search, right here at the top, we have our recent searches. Okay, I don't want all of these for this example, but let's say I select a few and I'm going to do a CMA on these properties. I can scroll down and I can start a CMA from here. So as you're searching for property, you don't have to go through the top. You can also do it down here in this menu. This is Matrix 301. We went over our market watch today. We did statistics on multiple types of properties. We did a study of an area. We went through our whole CMA process. We picked some properties, but the class is completed today. Matrix 301 is done. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to stay here for a little bit, answer as many questions as I can before I jump into my 11 a.m. If you guys want to join me at 11, I'm going to be doing an RPR class. Okay, so RPR is a tax service. I'm going to show you how to pull multiple reports that you can email to customers. If you want to send them a neighborhood report, a school report, if you want to post it on social media, that's what we're going to do at 11. I think that's going to be a good one. Enjoy your coffee. See you at 11. Somebody had a question about their name. I'm going to go into my matrix under my information. You see where your name is? The best place to add designations is actually right here where it says my full name. You override it, and then you can write your designation, like April is a good one, or any designation that you've created, and then save it at the bottom. It's under my information, the information tab, under full name. Thank you all for being here today. Does anybody have any questions? 401, you'd have to check the calendar, but you can also find it in our Miami Trainers YouTube page, and it's also already recorded and available for you guys inside of Miami Realtor Live. Automatic searches are created in the class Matrix 201. I can go ahead and show you how to do an automatic search now. So whichever search that you were looking for, whatever criteria you selected. Let's say I'm going to select these 4 and my search is single families in Doral. I go into save and then I click new auto email. I select my customer. I put in my subject. I do have a welcome email. The welcome email is going to give them all the information and then the instructions on how to open up their portal and start receiving their automated emails. The reoccurring email is going to be that email that's sent thereafter to them, because what you're doing is you're saving a criteria, but any properties that are available in that criteria that hit the market, you're going to send it over to your customer without you having to recreate the search. Our signature is here. This is the criteria that the system absorbs. So they're going to be finding active listings. Well, I would remove closed sales. So for example, active listings, single families, Doral Estates. Okay. And then here we have show the contact and reverse prospecting. We learn about that in 101. But here's your schedule, right? So you can go ahead and clear. The system is telling me, are you sure you want to clear all the dates? I'm going to say yes. You have the option of ASAP. That means they get the listing exactly when it hits the market, or you can select daily emails and you can pick whether you want them to go out in the AM or in the PM. The AM is 8 in the morning. The PM is 8 p.m. You can select the days that you want, either all in the AM, that's not the weekends, for example, but you can pick whatever days you like, press save, and you're good to go. You also have the monthly option available. So I'm going to press save. And now we've created an automatic email. But before you leave, if you've learned about the automatic email, you do want to learn how to stop it once your customer has received that information. So I'm going to click on contacts. I'm going to go back into Maggie. This is her auto email that we've just selected. Okay. And inside of auto email, you can go ahead and click here. We can either change the criteria, but what we're going to do is go into settings, scroll down, and you want to also disable it when you're done and press save. That way the system still has that criteria, but now you can remove it. Okay. And that's the auto email. I hope it helped you. It's a great tool. Okay, so if anybody doesn't have any more questions, I'll be available at 11. We're going to do RPR. It's going to be great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a Miami member. My name is Christy Denny's, and hopefully I see you guys at 11. Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day.